Hello and welcome back to Bannerlord and our wonderful Byron playthrough. So what we're going to do is basically take a look at the map here. That's the first thing that I wanted to show you because just look at this. Oh yeah, everything has been taken. I actually did nothing with the exception of running around and persuading a couple of vassals. I know a couple of people are not particularly happy with the sort of, shall we say, persuasion aspect of the game. But let me just say, diplomacy, battling, sieges, smithing, trading, recruiting new units, things like that are all part of the game. And in general, I'd like to bring you along for all of these. I want to experience all of that alongside you. And, if you find persuasion annoying, then I'm sorry for that. But that's not really my fault because it's part of the game, It's part of the game, just like sieges are, because some people don't like the sieges a huge amount. I mean, for me personally, I enjoy sieges. It depends on the situation, though, obviously, because if I'm doing a siege that is super, super annoying, and, there's going to be those. There's going to be those that are pretty irritating to deal with. But, let's just say that I'm dealing with an annoying one, next. It's going to be frustrating for me. But I understand that because it's part of the game, It is part of the game. So anyway, I know a bunch of you understand that, but some don't. So I just wanted to kind of explain exactly what's going on there because it's not really me that's deciding that diplomacy would be a good idea to do. It is just the way to go, because gaining more vassals and being able to increase our power is very useful. It's extremely useful, in fact. I did try to persuade Rajaya, but unfortunately she was in an army at the time, so it was basically impossible for me to speak to her. I did try speaking to the leader of the army, but that also did not work really very well. Ooh, this guy's actually the leader of his own clan. All right, let's actually speak to him and see what we can do with him. Maybe we can try and persuade him. This is probably going to be pretty much the last persuasive attempt I have. Oh. Yeah. Yes. He's automatically allowing us to try and persuade him again because I think I succeeded previously, but unfortunately he requires a huge amount of money. So, of course, we won't be doing anything with that. But, it's nice to know that potentially he is open to it. If we just had a little bit more cash or something like that, then it would probably make sense. But otherwise, there's Ragnvad right here as well. Now, Ragnvad, he is probably going to be our next target, all things considered, because if you take a look at the map, it is pretty much just us, the Khuzait, and the Sturgians. And the Sturgians are pretty much down to this one last town. I'm actually really, really impressed that they survived this long. Not entirely sure how they did that, but apparently they did. Anyway, we're going to go over here. Whoa, Tovia. Tovia has a crazy, crazy big army. Okay, so what we're going to do is... Oh, wow, there's actually a lot of people very, very far away here. I don't know how many they have in the town, but I guess I'm just going to ask as many people as possible to... Well, not as many people as possible, but I'm going to ask about this. I think this is a pretty suitable amount. Yeah, as you can see, look at that, 1,278. That should be enough. But got to be a bit careful here as well because I don't know whether there are any villages nearby with a bunch of food. Yeah, there are some hogs and there are some cows nearby. So technically, if I wanted to or if I had to, I could quite easily go there and purchase some of those. And then if push came to shove, then we could probably do something about that. I'm actually just going to buy every single piece of food that Sibir actually has at the moment because it is a Khuzait town. And I'd like to try and do a little bit of, shall we say, well, a little bit of preparation, I suppose. A little bit of preparation for the inevitable siege that will no doubt happen, probably not soon, but it might happen in this episode, actually. So maybe quite soon, but we'll see. Anyway, let's go on here, get some more of these. And I can actually go into this town. I actually continue forgetting that before you actually declare war, you don't really need to worry about going into the marketplace and so on. But yeah, as you can see, it's just... I actually bought some wool there, I think. I actually bought some wool. Oh well, that's not a big deal. Not a big deal. We have enough money to be able to deal with that. So what I'm going to do first is we're probably going to take on the army that Ragnvad has in his possession. And I'd actually like to speak to a whole bunch of these guys, but I don't think that's going to happen. So we're just going to wait and see. Oh, there we go. Yep, huge amounts more people being taken prisoner. I actually want to show you our combat strength at the moment. Our combat strength is 48. Yes, 48,000. Yeah, 48,000. The Aserai have 33. Britannia has 345. Vlandians, literally, they're done. 115. They are super done. And then the Khuzait, they have 32,000. So we are dramatically more, more powerful than the Khuzait. But that doesn't actually mean anything, because they could quite easily beat us in battles just purely for the fact that their composition might be better, or they may prey upon a number of singular vassals in bad situations. And that would definitely make a big difference. That would definitely make a big difference. So we have to be very cautious. Okay, come on, guys. Yeah, there we go. This is just kind of like, it's kind of like a superhero or super villain or something like that, just gaining in power just instantaneously and getting huge amounts of, well, whatever added to them, either whether that's cybernetic implants of some kind or, some crazy alien influence that might happen. And then all of a sudden they pop out of their house and they're like, oh, look at me. I now have a power level of over 9,000. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Anyway, we're going to attack this army straight up. And we'll see what happens. Okay, yeah, so our power level is obviously much, much higher than theirs, just purely for the fact that we have more numbers. But also, I would assume our unit quality is probably better as well. All right, so can I persuade him? Actually, I don't think I can persuade him. Is there anything that I can actually do with him right here? Can I actually do that weird thing where he gives me a huge amount of money? No. No. Because obviously that is accompanying the peace agreement. So, yeah, anyway. Yield or fight. All right, so let's see what we can do here. All right, so Arion of the Kingdom of Byronia has apparently had a bit of an issue, and he's gotten himself taken prisoner, which is not exactly great. Thank you. Okay, so let's attack. This is probably going to be the last battle that we see of the Sturgians, and amazingly enough, in this playthrough with Mr. Byron here. By the way, can I look at my... I can't access my encyclopedia, unfortunately. Oh, well, never mind. I actually wanted to show you his age, because a number of people are asking, and I want to show that, because I actually don't know how old he is now. I think he's 96? 97? Maybe 98 even. I actually don't know. But I guess we'll find out after this, if I remember to do it, of course. But anyway, the point is, I think we probably will have pretty nice time here, just purely for the fact that we haven't really fought the Sturgians that much. I mean, the only time that we fought them is when we have had a Sturgian defector join one of the factions that we have fought with, and that's pretty much it. That is literally it. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing more of their units, because it kind of... I'm not sure how to put this. It kind of robs you of a little bit of the game if you don't actually fight all of the different factions. And of course, the Sturgians do seem to get themselves taken out very easily, very quickly in the sort of parts of the mid-game, I suppose, because in the early game, obviously no one is really being attacked, but Britannia and the Northern Empire, or the Western Empire, I'm not entirely sure, I can't remember their positionings now because it's been so long since we've seen them alive. But yeah, that's the point. That kind of thing is probably going to be kind of nice to do, because being able to see a faction does enrich the experience quite significantly, so I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, we're going to do some thrusting damage here. And, wow, actually, not even getting that many kills, to be honest. Not even getting that many kills, but I don't really mind, to be honest, because Byron is pretty much maxed out. I don't think he actually has anything else that he needs to do, really. I think he's pretty much done in terms of his skill levels, and yeah, he has Well, not yeah, pole arms. Pole arms are different from one-handed, aren't they? So yeah, because I was going to say, well, his one-handed skill is pretty awful, and it is. It is pretty awful. But his pole arm skill is fantastic, so we shouldn't have to worry too much about that. And yes, we are now suffering some frame rate problems. So if you do see the video slow down, then that is indeed my issue, not your issue. I really don't know why that would be happening, because if let's say I run in this direction right here, I'm getting a couple of skips and jumps and a little bit of stuttering, but it's for the most part running at 60, and I'm not entirely sure why that would change. I suppose it is because I told my infantry to charge in. I think that's the main problem here. It seems like maybe some units of my infantry cause my game to lag somehow. I'm not entirely sure why that happens, because when we were in a siege previously, I also had the similar effect happen, and I think it's definitely an optimization problem. It's not my PC by any means. It is just generally an optimization problem. It is also probably a result of me playing on a save for an extremely large amount of time, because of course this is a save that I've had for months and I have consistently been playing on this for that length of time, and it could just be that some of the more recent updates have been fixing these optimization problems, and I am not playing on the most up-to-date version of the game. Although I have been taking a look at the changelogs of the new versions and things, and as far as I can tell, I don't think there have been many optimization fixes, with the exception of crashes and things like that. And as I've said, I personally feel like the game runs very well, actually, for the most part. As you can see right here, basically now running at about 50, now 60, now 60, now 60. Yeah, it's absolutely fine now. But before that, no, not so much, because our infantry was clashing with the enemy's infantry, and I think that's the main reason why we were having some problems. So, yeah. Anyway, that is indeed a victory for us. And we gain only 31 renown. Oh, wow, that's really significantly bad, isn't it? Yeah, that's pretty awful. Anyway, we're just going to let all these guys go, because you never know when we might encounter them in the future, and I might very well be able to persuade them. And I'm very much hoping that they will actually join me rather than the Khuzait. But you know how it is. You know how it is. They do tend to be a little bit weird in their decision making, and most of the time they don't really like joining the player faction for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, there we go. We are now at war against them, and we are going to head in to Varnovopol and try to... oh, look at that. The Vlandians have actually declared war on me for some reason. Why did they decide to do that? Do they actually have a fief? I don't think they have a fief. So I don't think I should have to worry too much about it. I'm actually quite worried about dealing with the Khuzait, to be honest. I feel like they're going to be actually kind of tough. So I'm not entirely sure how we're going to do it, but we'll see, I suppose. Anyway, let's just do a little bit more cohesion there. And we will now besiege the town. Oh, yes. There we go. All right. Oh, yes. Now, yeah, wait a minute. I need to remember something, right? Yeah. How old is Byron? Let's actually take a look here. He is 97. He's 97. What a crazy fellow he is. Wow. He has the reputation of being ambitious. That is very true. Very, very true indeed. Yes, anyway, he has a huge amount of friends, as you can see. And he has a small amount of enemies, which is not too bad. And of course, this is his family at the moment. So, yeah, pretty crazy. How old are all of my children now, by the way? Because I know that Triss and Olorin are the youngest. Triss is 27. Okay. Triss is 27, and Olorin is also 27, of course. Okay, so they have some decent stats, but they're probably going to be significantly inferior to Mr. Byron here, because obviously he has the huge amount of stuff, you know, he really has. Now, I believe someone was actually asking me how and why I actually build my siege towers and battering rams, because if you have the walls down, isn't it that you don't need those any further? And yes, I think that is actually true. The only reason why I build those is just for a kind of backup plan, really, because in the grand scheme of things, when you have the walls down, I don't want to have my troops only having one option. You know, so for example, if we have a situation where there are two walls down, which is usually how it is, there are two different openings for your troops to funnel into. And in general, that is perfectly acceptable and a very effective way of getting in to the keep itself. However, the main problem with it is that if the enemy has a significant amount of units in there, so I'm talking about maybe 2,000, near to 2,000 units or something, they're usually going to have a very easy time of blockading those areas, and they're going to just literally stuff bodies into the opening and create such a dramatic bottleneck that it's going to be pretty difficult to get units in. And so I generally tend to just build siege towers and a battering ram just as a backup, because some units are going to be manning those. They're going to man those, and that's going to be great because that means that we will potentially have the ability to attack from 5 different angles instead of just 2. That's the only reason why I do that. It's just a backup plan, just in case the worst were to happen. And maybe I could also indeed end up using one of those entryways, because I believe that my allied unit will end up using the battering ram more than the siege towers, I think. And the battering ram is pretty good because it allows you to get in through the center. But also bear in mind that generally in the center there are going to be many, many units waiting for your army to arrive. And while that is not great, it does make it possible for you to be a little more effective in spreading out the enemy's units. So instead of just having those 2 entry points where they can concentrate their forces, you can then have 5, as I've said. So it makes everything much easier for you as the attacker, at least in my opinion. Obviously, this is all personal preference. You don't have to build these if you don't want to, but I just generally tend to do it as a sort of a safe backup kind of thing. But anyway, my onagers seem to actually be doing pretty awfully right now. They seem to be taking a huge amount of damage, which is actually really bad. And you can see here that we haven't even really gotten the walls down significantly enough. And look at this. I can't believe it. Okay, I'm going to start building some more trebuchets, I suppose. And I guess we'll just hope that they can continue destroying those. Seems like the catapults are doing a pretty decent job of defending. I'm going to need to rebuild something here in just a second, because this onager is going to go down relatively soon, I expect, maybe? Yep, there we go. And at least we've got 3 trebuchets up and running. That's actually pretty good. I think we did pretty nicely here. And you can see here that the amount of damage that we've done to the garrison is significant. And personally, I think in general that it would be really, really cool if, as I've said before, I've said this multiple times already, but yeah, maybe there is something like that, where there would be an additional way for you to reduce the resistance within the keep. And if you can, I don't know, I'm not sure entirely what you can use, of course, but every single time you destroy an enemy siege equipment, so for example, if you destroy one of their catapults or a ballista or something like that, then a certain amount of units will be killed and removed from the garrison's defenses, which is actually very cool. I like that. I like that mechanic a lot. And I'm very much hoping that we'll be able to see more of that in the future. I have no idea what's going on with my frame rate right now. I haven't changed anything whatsoever. I think it is literally just really, really large battles that tend to give me some kind of frame rate problem. And I really don't know why, to be honest. I think it is literally just because of this. I mean, just look at what's going on here. It's just an absolutely insane, a huge amount of enemy units fighting against each other. And of course, it might very well be that the enemy is so tightly packed that it is causing some problems in regards to performance problems. So, yeah, because as you can see now, it's perfectly nice and smooth. It's nice and smooth right now, mainly because What, did I just kill... Did I just kill Pelosaur right there? Did I literally just kill Pelosaur, or did I kill someone called Pelosaur? Oh, if I did, I apologize. I apologize, Mr. Pelosaur. Okay, let's see if we can do something here. Nice. There we go. Okay, come on now. Let's see if we can... yep, there we go. Nice. That was one of their most powerful units, taking them out. That was actually pretty good. Okay, so... Are these... Ah, yeah, these barricades can be destroyed. Okay, can I... Yes. Yes. Nice. I generally tend to prefer doing this utility kind of stuff, so that it basically makes it possible for our units to move wherever they want to move, and it makes it a lot easier for us to get these areas cleared out. And yeah, generally I tend to prefer taking out battlements and... Oh, hello there. Okay, well, I guess I'll just enter back in here then. Yes, wonderful. Okay, well, my units actually seem to be doing a pretty decent job this time around, and I'm not entirely sure how they were able to get into the keep so incredibly fast. I wonder how that happened, because no doubt you saw the amount of units that were being killed almost instantly upon us entering this fight. So I guess that's pretty good. I don't really know how they were able to do that, to be honest, because I thought that we all started from the same area. But yeah, apparently there's some kind of advanced force going on there or something. Stay at reach. No. There we go. Ah, I think I might be dead. Yep, I'm dead. Yeah, I'm getting shot by all the archers. Getting shot by all the archers, Byron. Why did you do that, sir? I don't know, because I'm an imbecile. There we go. Oh well, never mind. We can just speed that up, because this is pretty much a victory for us. And you can see how crazy the amount of bodies is in these two areas. It is amazing. I personally feel like these kinds of situations are really cool to see, because you can see exactly what happened. It kind of tells a bit of a story here, because you could see that this particular area was just not defended. It just was not defended whatsoever. And so as a result, what they did was they instead had a defensive line round about here, and you can see that that's actually quite effective, because our units can only come up this staircase right here kind of inefficiently, you know, And also, I'm not entirely sure if we've even moved the siege towers. I don't think we've even moved the siege towers, but we did move the siege ram. So I guess that happens. But look, there we go. That's exactly the reason why I build these things, because then we can have an alternate way to get inside. Although, what is actually happening right now? Why are my forces just standing there? I don't know. Let me actually just speed this up real quick, because I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Seems like most of my forces are literally just standing in the courtyard, not doing anything, which I gotta say is a little bit weird. Oh dear. Yeah, that is a bit of an issue. We're kind of used to that kind of thing from Warband, so don't worry about it. That will be no doubt fixed as time goes on in the development cycle. And yeah, the AI has always proven itself to be very weird in many respects. But yeah, it's kind of strange, because you can actually get around. Yeah, I guess that might be also a reason why you probably don't want to use a battering ram in this case, because then the units have no choice but to go through the open entryways rather than going through the places that are blocked off. But you know, if they just attacked this gate right here with their axes and everything, they'd be able to get it down in literally no time. Ah, they're now starting to move. Ah, that's lovely of them, isn't it? Yes, they're now actually starting to move away from there. I had to speed up for a pretty significant amount of time, and now they're finally starting to do something. I have no idea why they were waiting there. Was it just literally for the pure fact that they were waiting for their other group or something? Because you can see that these are the forces right here that were waiting in that courtyard, and we have these guys around about here that appeared out of nowhere. I'm not entirely sure where they came from, but anyway, that is indeed a victory for us. I'm just going to speed up the last remaining little bit, and there you go, done. Nice enough. But yeah, a little bit, couple of complications, shall we say? A couple of complications. So definitely don't want to have that happen again. So I probably won't build another siege ram, although it does make things, as I say, a little bit more confusing for the opponent. But it seems to have also confused our own units quite significantly. All right, so Varnavapol, we're going to be giving this to Hekard because he actually has nothing, and we will be giving that to him. There we go. All right, I think pretty much everyone has a fief that is under my command at the moment, so I'm pretty happy with that. And we're now at war against the Sturgians, technically, kind of. I mean, really, there's nothing else for us to take, so that is perfectly fine with me. We can now just disband our army, and I think that's also the reason why we don't have any armies currently active, because we have no one that we're at war against. There is actually another vassal over here that I would like to pursue if at all possible. There we go. We're just going to send troops against him instantaneously, get him taken down. I could have... Do you think I could have actually persuaded him to join us? Let me actually just take a look and see if I shot myself in the foot a little bit here. No. The leader is Yorick, so nothing really to worry about there. All right, not too bad. Okay, so that is indeed it. We are going to be facing the Khuzait in the next episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.